Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to clarify some misperceptions about your company's HR department. There are an overwhelming amount of videos on YouTube titled HR is not your friend, and I'd like to create a counterpoint to that argument. So today we're going to talk about 4 popular scenarios where you would need to interact with HR and how each of those scenarios can work to your advantage or disadvantage depending on how you approach the situation. Real quick, if you enjoy this content and want to learn more about how to make power moves in your career, make sure to follow my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video from me. All right, so let's get started. Tip number 1, filing a complaint about a boss or colleague. Let's just start with the biggest one first. I recently received a comment from someone on one of my social media pages telling me that I should never suggest to people, particularly people being harassed at work, that they should go to HR because HR will fire you. And that's simply not true. This person explained that they were being harassed and complained to HR and then promptly fired by HR. In reality, HR takes direction from the leadership team, including your boss, and the legal department. So what happened is that HR didn't fire this person. HR took direction from that person's boss, consulted legal, and then found a way to legally fire them. That's how it works. Now, if you're facing harassment at work or you've decided that you're working in an intolerable situation with a colleague, then going to HR is an option for you. If you decide to follow that path, you need to understand how it's going to work. Here's how it helps you. You may be faced with relentless harassment or bullying at work. If you've documented all the incidents, made efforts to have the person stop their behavior, consulted with a higher up like your boss or a skip level, and put together a complaint file, then you're ready to reach out to HR and file a formal complaint. They will take that complaint, look it over, and start the process of investigating the situation, using the company's protocol for addressing the situation as defined by the most appropriate legal measures. This protects everyone involved and ensures that your complaints are taken seriously. Here's how it hurts you. On the other hand, if you start complaining to the people around you without documenting what's happening, or you repeatedly complain to your boss expecting that person to handle it for you, you may be in for a surprise. If you also constantly go to your HR rep and tell these stories like you're just blowing off steam, then your HR rep really can't do anything about it. Remember, your HR contact is not your therapist. That person is not there to listen to you complain about your colleagues over every little infraction. Here's how HR gets involved. If someone violates policy, harasses you, undermines you, or creates an unsafe working environment for you, then you have a case that HR can handle. If someone irritates you, disagrees with you, or has a different opinion than you do on anything, then that's not an HR problem. They're limited in how much they can intervene. If you don't have an organized approach for why you're reaching out, you're not going to get any help. That's what happened to me. I complained relentlessly about my toxic boss. She had a file a mile thick before she even arrived in our department. It fell on deaf ears. Why? Someone was protecting her and HR was powerless to remove her. That's the reality. If you think HR is there to create solutions to your complaints, then you'll be disappointed. If you think HR is there to help formalize a process that's within the company's legal guidelines, then you're going to have a better chance of success. Tip number 2, preparing for a promotion. When you believe you're ready for a promotion, you might think that the first thing you need to do is reach out to HR to find out what to do next. Usually I hear from my clients, especially during performance reviews and pay adjustments, that they're thinking that they're ready for a promotion. 1, because they've been there a long time and that's the next natural step, or 2, because they're reaching the top end of their pay band, so they must need a promotion to get to the next band. Neither one of those assumptions is going to get you promoted. And deciding you need a promotion during your salary discussions with HR is just bad timing. Here's how it helps you. I work with people on getting promoted all the time. The ones who get promoted work in great detail with their boss to prepare for a promotion. Your boss is always going to be the best person to work with to align with a promotion. Typically, when your boss tells you that there's an opportunity, they will then give you the go-ahead to reach out to HR to build your case for promotion. There is documentation involved in a formal process, which they will start for you. Here's how it hurts you. HR is not going to give you a promotion just because you've been there 10 years and you're at the top of your salary band. And having a conversation with HR about your disappointment that you haven't been promoted yet will typically fall on deaf ears. Again, HR doesn't magically make promotions happen, and they don't put people up for promotion. You need to work with your boss to establish a timeline and work on projects that will position you strongly for the next role. And if you're watching this video and thinking to yourself that your boss isn't helpful, and that's why you need to work with HR directly, then you've set yourself up for a difficult process. If you have a boss who doesn't support your promotion, then that person will work very hard to undermine any efforts you make with HR. Tip number 3, getting fired or laid off. I was laid off from my job, and the only thing that salvaged a very bad situation was my ability to negotiate a deal with my HR contact. He was a really good person, and he did everything he could legally to help me through it. Was he just being nice? No. He was protecting the business as well, but it was to both our advantage. Here's how it helps you. If you have a really good relationship with your boss and you have a good working relationship with your HR contact, that was my situation, then there's a good chance those people will do what they can to soften the blow of a layoff or a workforce reduction. My friend was also laid off from the same company. Before the layoff happened, her boss put her up for promotion to the next level, which was processed through HR, and she was laid off at a higher position with a better severance package. Relationships matter. Here's how it hurts you. Here's a terrible example that really happened at the same company. They decided to reduce the workforce by going through employees' emails to find the ones who technically violated the company's email policy. They then went through the list of names and fired those people for violation of company policy on a technicality. About 50 people were fired. This was the department with my toxic boss. There would have been any number of reasons to get rid of her first during that maneuver, but instead, they fired perfectly good people just to reduce the headcount, and she stayed. Was this HR's fault? No. They did what they were told, and they were told not to touch her. Did HR come up with this crafty and shitty plan? No. In fact, when people were brought in for meetings, they had a legal representative in the room to enforce that this was a legal decision based on policy violation. Tip number 4, advocating for your rights. In recent years, HR departments have been carving out DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion protocols with greater success. These protocols have always been important to the success of a business and the foundation of what a healthy culture for any business should include. Now, I work with really large corporations that have some amazing DEI programs available through their HR departments. This includes leadership development programs for people of color, mentoring and coaching services for high potential candidates, and membership to focused professional groups and professional development organizations that will help you get visibility. Here's how it helps you. If you feel that you'd be a good candidate for any of these programs, you should be able to reach out to your HR contact and ask which programs would be a good investment in your time and potentially your training allowance. I used to do this all the time. We had a training and development allowance each year. Each person received an allotted budget to be spent on training and professional development. So I would look for programs and memberships that would help me develop my skills. I started with HR's list of available programs, and then I built a case for why I wanted to take those programs. Here's how it hurts you. I had signed up for one final training program that would have given me a professional certification in my field, and my toxic boss said no, she wouldn't approve it. When I asked why not, she just said she didn't feel like it. You know, she was always honest about being toxic, I'll give her that. Did I complain to HR? Sure. Did it help? No. They weren't going to override her decision. Now, there's a very nuanced point I'm going to make here. Had this been a professional certification that helped women get ahead in the business, I may have had a better chance of building a case against her, or that she was interfering in my professional development. If you have a toxic boss who's working against you to get ahead in your professional development, again, proceed to HR with a case against that person's decisions. Sometimes they can involve your skip level who will approve your request. Advocating for yourself and speaking up for yourself are powerful tools you can use to ensure you're getting the most out of what a company can offer you in terms of diversity and inclusion. This is also one rare way that you can start the process of moving away from a toxic boss. Look for opportunities that HR can provide to help you build your skills through programs the company offers. This will help you continue to grow and develop despite your boss trying to hold you back. especially if it's out of spite. All right, so that's it for my video on how to use HR effectively and to the best of your advantage in order to keep growing in your career. If you have examples of how you've interacted with HR, good or bad, feel free to share in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up by hitting that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you never miss another video from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.